now your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
All right, you guys. Jeff, welcome. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Feeling good. How you feeling, brother?
I'm tired, man. I slept like crap last night for no reason. I played Magic the Gathering, which is like the ultimate nerd game. My buddy was trying to teach me how to play. I don't think I know any more about Magic the Gathering now that I've played a game for hours and hours than I did before it started. Then I read that MIT rated it the hardest game to learn in the world. Which I wish I would have known before that, because I wouldn't have wasted my time, because I'm dumb. And those types of games are way beyond what I can accomplish.
I'm surprised, though, that you haven't played it before. That part of the story seems surprising.
Nah, that was never really my jam. I always liked other, like, tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Cyberpunk, and things like that.
I feel I put those in the same realm, though, you know? It's like,
they should be, but I was just not... I just wasn't at that level of dorkdom yet, and I don't think it's like Formula One driving, right? Like you have to have a license for each level, each stage of Formula racing, right? Like if you're an F4 driver, F3, F2, F1, you have to apply to get licenses. If you fail that test, you can't drive the car because you'd be putting your life and other people's lives in danger. That's the nerd kingdom too. Like I applied for my Magic license last night, and I failed the test. So I'm not allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to play Magic the Gathering again. But it was a good time with friends. It made me sleep like crap, so I'm never playing again. How was your weekend? You were probably doing funny stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I was. I had 2 sold-out shows in Dallas, Texas, and then 2 sold-out shows in Fort Worth, Texas. It was awesome. Texas is the best. They're so good to me. I love being there.
Shout out to my high school girlfriend. She lives in Texas. What's up, girl? How you doing? Hope everything's good. At least that's where she moved in 1995. I don't know if she's still there.
She's been waiting for that forever.
Yeah, she loves pro wrestling.
Years, she goes, what? Freddie finally said, wait a minute. Freddie said, you got to talk about me? He talked about me. I've been sitting
on his
in
podcast
Dallas.
that I listen to every single week. Oh my God.
I've been sitting in Dallas with the Sarah Michelle Gellar voodoo doll, and now finally Freddie
stabbing it with little needles. All right. Monday Night Raw. I know you guys want to talk Friday Night SmackDown. I know you do. That was the wrestling show of the week. I get it, but you have to wait. It's Monday Night Raw first, where the Vision continues to rise. Jeff's 2 favorite wrestlers, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Those are tough names, man. Those feel like NXT names.
Braun Bronze.
One of them is, the Braun Bronze. Took on Jey Uso and LA Knight, an unlikely tag team. They don't have, obviously, the chemistry of Jimmy and Jay, the Uso brothers, but they're still good guys, so they're going to work together. But unfortunately, they didn't have enough chemistry because they lost to the big boys, to the Vision. And then they started to beat their ass, or Braun and Braun started to beat their ass even more after the match. And Jimmy Uso came out to save his brother Jay. And here's the question. Do we like Jimmy and Jay better as a tag team? Or do we like them better as individuals? Or is there room for both these things to exist simultaneously, Jeff?
I think you know my answer. I love him as a tag team. I respect him as a tag team. I've always liked them as a tag team. Jey Uso as like main event Jay coming out. It's just me, Uso. It feels kind of mean. It feels like he's left behind Jimmy, in my opinion. And I don't like that. I think I like them as
That's
a duo.
An interesting take. I like that.
Yeah, I just feel like it'd be like when if you saw Animal from Road Warriors go on like a singles run. It's like it's nothing against Animal. It's just kind of like, hey man, where's Hawk? You know, like I just know them as a duo. In my mind, it's like it feels like a divorce or something, and I can't. It's hard to root for both of them individually. For me, I prefer them as a tag team. I want them as a tag team, and that's what I will kind of forever see them as.
I like that take a lot. I never heard anybody else put it that way. I like what both of them are doing. Jay is the bigger personality, right? And when he was in the Bloodline, he was the quiet one. And now he's the big personality, and he's out there and he's doing his thing. And Jimmy, who was the bigger, stronger personality, like, no, come on, cool out, all this kind of stuff. Now he's more introspective. So I like the growth that both the characters have shown, but I love them as a tag team. Like, I loved them in the Bloodline. I loved their matches against the New Day. Your favorite match, the Punjabi prison match, was the Usos versus the New Day, and the Usos won. And Xavier got beat down with some kendo sticks and bamboo poles or whatever they were. So, yeah, man, I think I'm kind of with you, although, unlike you, I like the Jey Uso run. I like the Yeet. I like the It's Just Me. I like all that. But I like your take a lot. I haven't heard anybody else in the wrestling world put it that way. So, well done, sir.
Well, it's also twins, too. I mean, I'm buddy with some triplets. They're called the Verzi triplets. Very funny comedians. But, like, whenever there's just one of them, he'll be like, oh, I went to San Diego this weekend. I was like, with your brothers, right? And he's like, no, just me. And I'm like, what? Like, I want them to be together, you know? Like, I want them to do twin stuff.
That's funny. So, same with Bellas. You like Bellas together more than separate?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Especially with twins, it's hard to separate them. Yo, the director on Scooby-Doo, he had twin girls, and I swear to God, they had like their own secret twin language that they would speak to each other that no one else could understand. And I've ever since that movie, I've always thought twins had some either psychic power or an evil power that they don't tell people about, that they start to like corrupt the world to be more twin friendly, right? But through evil, they do it. So just watch out if you know twins out there, because there might be like a shady side to them that you're not aware of. So just be careful, watch your back, protect your families, protect your dogs. Don't let them pet your dogs. All right, moving on. No, that's real. That's real. It's totally real. Moving on. The Kabuki Warriors are back. Lots of tag teams matches on Monday Night Raw. But I love Asuka. She's crazy as cat shit. She hits people hard. She lets you hit her hard. She's like Sheamus in that regard, right? Like she wrestles thick. Stiff. That was the word. Yeah. I'm changing it to thick. She wrestles thick.
Oh, she is thick, too. She looks good.
I've always loved her since she came into WWE when it was the WWE Network, and you had to watch whatever that would. Did she do Mae Young? I think she just went right to NXT. No, she didn't do Mae Young. Kyrie did Mae Young. So, yeah, man, I've always loved Asuka. The only one that even gave her a challenge in her early run was Ember Moon, who's now Athena in AEW, and it was an NXT match where she kind of used the ref to save her ass. That's how many Asuka matches I've watched. Other than that, she then went into WWE and dominated there for a while, and now she's in a position to help put other people over like Io and Kyrie or whoever else that's coming up that they believe in. And she still gets big wins because she's still, when she's healthy, is able to be crazy on the mic. She's not, I'm not saying she's a 10 on the promos, but people love what she has to say. They cheer for her. She doesn't get whatted ever. They give her love. It's because her look, her walkout, her presence, her history, like people respect her so much. I'm not the only one that's on the Asuka train. I was probably one of the, got in it like halfway down the road. So I know a lot of you were on this first. But yeah, I really love her. I love Io Sky. Kyrie's cool too. And I just want to see where they go, because an Asuka Io Sky match would be phenomenal if the reasoning and the rationale was right. And it feels like that's where it's going to lead up to eventually. And I'm in for it, dude. What about you?
Yeah, I love Asuka. I think that it's getting a little too repetitive.
You're not wrong.
They're telling the same story too many times every week, you know, like where it's like, we want to come help you, and then like, oh, we suspect that she's, you know, talking to Rhea Ripley, and then Kairi Singh is kind of caught in the middle and it's like doesn't know what to do with her fighting girlfriends. It's like, I get the story, I like the story, but then they keep doing the story. It's like, I get it. But I think Asuka in the ring, I don't think anyone matches her, and she's at the top of that level. You're right. She has like she's just a boss. She has kind of like this boss attitude where everyone kind
final
of like
boss.
That's
she's Bowser, bro.
So I'm excited the way they're using her, and I hope that it gets bigger.
There's an analytic WWE uses, which is the reason why some of these stories feel repetitive, and they're saying the same thing over and over again, because the average audience member watches one episode per month. And it's us that watch every week, the hardcore fans who have loved it since we were kids, whether we went away from it for a while or not. Like, we still remember that feeling, and that's why we like watching people punch each other in the face, because it was just cool when we were kids. Like a Jet Li scene or a Jackie Chan scene, or for my dad's generation, a Clint Eastwood scene where he's just punching and beating the crap out of everybody. Those are the best parts of the movies, and that's why I love wrestling. I'm getting sidetracked and forgot where I was going, but they follow this analytic where they have to repeat the story, because if they did a story that happened within like a 4-week time period, most of their audience wouldn't be able to keep up with the story because they just don't watch enough professional wrestling. Every once in a while, even like the John Cena stuff, he's talented enough that he can make the same thing sound different. But even his stuff, when I worked there, they had to repeat, and they had to, send the same message again and again and again until the following month, and then they could change the message up a little bit. But that's an analytic that they followed when I was there, and it looks like they still follow it today.
Interesting. That makes total sense, because you'll see some, like, this might have been the first SmackDown I watched from start to finish in forever. So it's funny you say that, because like, I do skim over SmackDown. I come home late from comedy and I skim, but like Raw, I'll watch from beginning to end. All the PLEs, I watch from beginning to end. AEW, I watch a lot, but I skim some of that too. But this SmackDown was the first one I've watched, so I guess there would be stories I'd miss because I just skim over some wrestlers that I don't really. So that makes total sense.
Yeah, man. So it's it's their fault, but it's not their fault, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like, they're trying to do the right thing, but it's repetitive to the diehard ones that watch. But they don't cater to the diehard because they know we're going to watch anyway. They cater to the masses. We always get screwed. The diehards always get screwed in every form of entertainment. Dominic Mysterio, my favorite wrestler. And I know he's growing on everyone else too. And he took on AJ Styles, your other favorite wrestler. Yeah, Dominic. I like a good baby face. He's got the face. He's got the body. He's jacked. He's got great wardrobe. Doesn't hide his body at all. This man is the ultimate babyface. He's been manipulated by multiple women. Shame on you women. Shame on both your households. He's a good boy. His father basically abandoned him. Terrible father. Dominic's had to go through so much horrible stuff, and he still comes out on top as a champion. Honest Abe, they should call him. Fair
this
play,
is all
Freddie.
Ridiculous. This is preposterous.
What are you talking? Oh, all right. Well, then what's your stance on Dominic Mysterio? You're
He's
so
a
smart
bum,
about
dude.
wrestling.
He's a bum. He's a deadbeat.
That's such an asshole thing to say.
He's just a bum. He's cheating on these ladies. He does what he wants. He doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't even wear the lucha mask, and he's going to go around calling himself the greatest luchador. He doesn't respect his father. He put his father through hell and back, and then beats him up on holidays. He treats him disrespectful with God knows whatever girlfriend he's with at that time. He's a bum. He needs to get his life in order, and I can't wait for someday that forgiving Mysterio family, that great Mysterio family, to maybe have a redemption story with the prodigal son, but I don't see it happening.
Wow, man, we got way different points of view on Dominic Mysterio. Yours, I think you're projecting a lot of your own stuff, your own issues on the Dominic Mysterio character, and I'm just kind of trying to call it how it is, call it how I see it. I think I'm being a little more objective than you, but whatever. I mean, we agree to disagree.
This might be the first time, too, our roles have really reversed here. This is very strange.
How far do you think Dominic Mysterio can go? Is he a mid-card guy, or given the right story, could you see him get the Bryan Danielson treatment to the title, or the Rey Mysterio treatment to where the smaller guy actually can pull it off?
I am going to put someone over on this podcast that you don't often hear me say fantastic things about, but I think Seth Rollins is proving that you can be a champion and be like a heely little weasel guy and still be the most interesting thing on the show, if that makes sense. Like, he's really we've had heel champions in the past, but nobody has made the heel champion so big in a long time. except Seth Rollins. And I think that Dom could be that guy too, where like he's just everyone's kind of chasing and dealing with and wanting to see what happens next with the champ. So I think Seth freaking Rollins proves that there is a path for guys like Dominic Mysterio as champ.
Yeah, dude, the IC title's always been a great avenue for heel champions too, right? Like if you look back at like the Honky Tonk Man, always smashing people with his guitar and shaking his ass. Razor Ramon, super arrogant. Speaking of arrogant, Mr. Perfect, my favorite Intercontinental champ ever. Like total butthole. Look at me. Look how cool I am. I'm a peacock.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, super arrogant IC champ. So it's a good avenue to play that role, and I just think Dominic plays the little chicken shit heel so nice, man. Like,
he's so good.
They're always cheating, which helps him, right? He doesn't get credit for the cheat. That gets to go to El Grande and the writers. But just even the way he wrestles, it's shady. Like he'll show off how athletic and how lucha-centric he is, but it's always kind of like in a piece of shit way, and that's why I really like what he's doing at such a young age, and I love him. And you know, I'm just joking. He's not a babyface. I know people. I know. I'm just being dumb. All right, moving on.
He's a cheater.
He's a cheater. Friday Night SmackDown, my friend. Here we go. We're going to start with the end of the show, and then we'll get to Cena afterwards. So Becky's out there. Seth's in the crowd. The blocking on this was a little weird, but I kind of get it. Seth's in the crowd in a position where he's not able to protect his wife, right? But I guess maybe from his character's point of view, it'd be like if CM Punk comes out, he's not going to put his hands on my wife. He's punk rock and straight edge, and they don't play that shit. So maybe that's his character's point of view. But he's up in the crowd, and they have this like long distance smooch. He's like, mwah, mwah, I love you, and she's like, yes, mwah, oh, I love you too. And it's all love in the Lynch Rollins household. And then all of a sudden we get CM Punk. And he comes out. And this is after Becky trashes Chicago and says, all your teams suck. You suck. Everybody sucks. A very old school promo. Out comes CM Punk, who does not suck, even though she said he sucks. He comes out not sucking, and he lets everybody know it's clobbering time. And the crowd at Chicago, they've been screaming AJ Lee. By the way, the worst kept secret in the history of professional wrestling was AJ Lee's return to Friday Night SmackDown. They may as well put advertisements on television because everybody in the world knew, because their marketing department accidentally leaked it when somebody said, hey, when are we getting AJ Lee merch? Yeah. Star Wars has done this with Hasbro or whoever makes their toys, Mattel, and they've been like released new toys for the characters that are coming out in movies, and everybody's like, who's that? Wait, that's Starkiller's base? Like all kinds of stuff where just shit gets ruined because of toy departments and merchandise departments. But here comes CM Punk, and he comes out there and he's like, look, man, I'm going to give you a chance to say sorry. He didn't say that, but words to that effect. And she's like, yo, F you, man, I'm not saying sorry. And she starts slapping him again. He's like, shoot, you messed up, girl. And he steps out of the ring, and here she comes. And her music starts. And she comes out and she does her old school entrance, acting like the little girl who just got away with something, and which was different than the way I would have done it. I would have had her like, yo, you put hands on my man. I'm coming out there with purpose, and I'm beat your ass. But I get it. She's coming out. Maybe her point of view is like, I'm taking everything from you, your title, everything. And so I'm going to show you my wrestling persona. And then when we're in the ring, that's when you get the wife persona, and I'm going to beat your ass. So maybe that's what she was thinking. But I would have had her come out hot and strong and start swinging. And I feel like the Chicago crowd would have responded to that even better. But she came out, did her pose on the ropes, which was cool. She looked great. Becky looked great. They went at it for a second. Becky had to get the hell out of there. Seth's running down. He's like, what the crap? Holy crap. And he like stumbles over the railing, which was awesome, instead of jumping over, which he can clearly do because he's super athletic. He's like, They get up. They get out of there, and then we get a great hug and a smooch. We got a little smoochy time that they cut away from. Why are you going to cut away from the smooch, WWE? That was nice. That was a heartfelt moment. So they cut away from the smooch, and that was the end of SmackDown, and everybody loved it. Everybody was happy, and AJ Lee is back, and people are reporting that she's signed a multi-year contract. Some people are reporting it's just 1 year, but either way, even if it's just 1 year, that's probably 30 appearances, 30 dates, probably like 20 20-some matches. You know what I mean? Like, that's good stuff, man. So we get some fresh blood in the women's division, some fresh blood to help the IC title mean more. It's awesome that Becky and her can do this with this new title because it is new and doesn't have the credibility of the main ones. I thought it was a great segment, man. Like I said, I would have done it a little different, but I was totally entertained and I loved every second of it, man. What about you?
I loved it. I want to talk a bit about them spoiling it with that merch tweet. I know that the tweet got deleted, but good God, what a botch. How do you screw that up? Like, I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times on here. Like, the secret to any successful story is a secret. You've got to keep these things a secret. And it's hard to do when you work at a corporation like WWE. It's become so huge that now there's thousands of employees, tens of thousands of employees. It's hard to keep a secret. How does something as clunky as that tweet get out? Like, I can't get my mind around how that mistake happened. And then also just like, I think they did too much alluding to AJ coming back. I mean, like, it was the worst kept secret in a long time. Luckily, we didn't care because it's just so cool to have her back, and it was such a long time away. She looks like she didn't age a second. Like,
she's got
great.
The Rachel Lee Cook disease where they still look at the exact same age no matter what year it is.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. And she did great, and she looks great. I'm very, very happy about it. I'm trying to think what I was going to say about it. Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a bit of, I wonder how the locker room's going to handle this as far as, like, you keep bringing people back. I mean, there was already
Artists
people starving.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people starving about
their
screen
opportunities.
Time. And you bring back Brock, you bring back AJ Lee, and you bring back all these wrestlers, and you've got all this stuff. It's very, very tough to figure that out, how that's going to be. You can only have so many belts. So I'll be interested to see how this will shake out.
I know how that got out because I know how the corporation things kind of work a little bit, and it happened on a movie that I did a long time ago where they didn't want one actor or actress to know that another actor or actress, I'll tell you who it is off air, was going to be in the movie because they knew if that person found out, they wouldn't do the movie, and the studio really wanted them in. And so they kept it a super, super secret the whole time. And they were just going to wait till the movie came out, and they were going to deal with the anger of this actor or actress at the end of it. And the marketing department, same as WWE, sent an email to this actor or actress and said, here's some rules for interviews. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. And don't mention the fact that actor or actress X is in the movie. Yeah. And this actor, actress went ballistic. I mean, ballistic. And it was hysterical to me. I was just dying laughing because I was kind of in on the whole secret. And it's pretty much everyone was in on the secret except this one actor, which is why they were so pissed off. But that stuff happens, man, because they don't communicate. The people in charge of the secret don't communicate. They share the information, but they don't communicate like, yo, you cannot share this with anyone. Delete this email. Delete it from your trash. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Like, it has to be that kind of thing. And in the age of the internet, it's much harder to do, but it's still doable. We still get surprised by movies, TV shows, music drops, things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like let people know how important the secret is too. You say like, all right, new rule here. If these things get leaked, we're going to start punishing people. If we find out you're telling the dirt sheets or telling this stuff, it's like, these things happen, but we're going to change the culture about the secrets around here. You'll be fired, or you'll be written up, or you'll be like make it sound like if you're the one caught sharing the secret. Like, there's a way to do that. This one was such a clumsy mistake that I was like, I wonder if they were fine with it, or if it was on purpose, or if it was like by design.
I'm sure they were pissed.
You think so?
I'm sure. Yeah. When it happened on Star Wars, they were super pissed. So I could only assume another like mega corporation like that was super pissed. I'm sure they were less than amused.
Well, even John Cena was like alluding to AJ coming back. There was all these parts like everybody just kept like talking about AJ Lee coming back. He was like, "This is going to be a magical night. You never know what's going to happen." Like he just kept. I don't know. I felt like very annoyed. Everyone kept alluding to it, like CM Punk pointing to the poster of AJ Lee a few weeks ago or last week. It was just, I don't know.
I wonder if they could have taken a left turn and instead of maintaining the story they told with Becky's promo, like, yeah, I heard the same fucking rumor you guys heard. And I don't care if she's back. I'll bust her ass just like I busted her man's ass. And there's not, you know what I mean? Maybe there was a way to do that would have made it a little more organic. But I still loved what they did. I had a ton of fun with the segment. Man.
Which, by the way, Becky had the promo of her career. It was so great to just go, yeah, typical, to the Paris crowd going on Raw, going, typical, always chanting for a dope that doesn't work here is so good. That's the best insult to an audience I've ever heard, because they chanted CM Punk for God knows how long in every venue, everywhere. They chant CM Punk, like he would come back to WWE. And then they chanted CM Punk before he was in AEW. And so for them to be chanting AJ Lee and her just be able to insult both of them like that was money.
She does well on the mic. All right, you guys. Cena's farewell. The show started with good guy Cena. Everybody's favorite good guy, John Cena, came to save America and save the world. Still does more Make-A-Wish visits than probably anybody on Earth. Did you know that Darth Vader does Make-A-Wish visits?
Like in costume?
Yeah.
That's weird.
The most evil bad guy ever is making a wish. Isn't that strange? Shouldn't it be Luke Skywalker? Anyway,
yeah, I don't like
I'm
that.
Getting sidetracked. Yeah, that's weird. Darth Vader's evil and mean.
I thought you meant like David Prowse or,
No, dude. Darth Vader cosplay, full Darth Vader, and he's like, hello, I am Darth Vader. That's not a good Darth Vader. But
unless it's like their last day, then it's perfect.
Stop. You can't say.
He comes in and goes, it is over. Like, something like that. But other than that, you got to keep that kayfabe alive, dude. You can't be having him do that. Come in to be a good guy.
He can't come in and say, it is over.
Yeah, and then just walk out, and they're like, dude, we don't know what to tell you. We don't know
That's the worst Make-A-Wish visit ever, dude. Oh, my God.
The kid gets for liking the bad guys.
That's what, hey, man, I always rooted for the bad guys. That's what I would have got. So John Cena came out. I'm not going to be able to get through this segment. And he made a heartfelt speech for the people. And it felt the most authentic and the most real that he's come off in a really, really long time. And I think all his promos are good, but this just felt very human and humble. And he just came off like a real one, man. And it was super nice and sweet. And Sami Zayn came out, and it's a Chicago crowd, and they've decided they like John Cena. So anyone that comes out, they're not going to like, even though it's Sami friggin' Zayn, like the sweetest wrestler ever, right? And they're like, boo. He's like, yo, give me a second. Are we in Philly? Like, what's going on right now? But Chicago's
Well, I think they were going, why are you out here? And that's how I was feeling, too. I go, what is going on?
They were mad. Well, then Sami explained why he was out there. And he said, John, when you were the U.S. champ, you gave me an opportunity. You gave everyone an opportunity in the John Cena Open Challenge match for the belt. That's what it was called. He goes, I want to return the favor with your permission. And the crowd says, oh, okay, maybe we like this guy. And John goes, you got my permission. And he shakes his hand, and the crowd goes, yeah, we like you. And then John goes, and he goes, hold on a second, John. And the crowd goes, oh, I don't think we like you again. And he says, I'd like my first challenger to be you. And they're like, what? Wait. And John's like, oh, man, I don't know. I just came out to talk, even though I'm dressed to wrestle. Let's do it. And then they're going to have this awesome match. Now, this was the most predictable match of the week in wrestling, because you knew John Cena can't win, and you know John Cena can't lose. So if those options don't exist, then somebody's coming out to ruin the match. It's like the old karate trainer with the stick, and he says, if you say this stick is real, I will beat you with it. If you say this stick is not real, I will beat you with it. What do? And the answer is, when there is no way out, you break that fucking stick, right? And so that's what this match became. There was no way to get out of it, so you have to just send in Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar killed everybody and sets up him and John Cena for an awesome match, which John Cena, I think, is going to win because the last time they met, remember, Brock Lesnar beat him in like 40 seconds or even less, something like that. Just killed him in, I think, in Saudi Arabia. So that was the end of the first segment. Everybody gets what they want. They all get Brock. They get Sammy, who we all love. They get the Cena segment and a Cena match because he doesn't have many left, you guys. And it was a good segment, man. I knew that the match had to end somehow, and I knew it was probably going to be Brock Lesnar, but who cares, man? It was still cool. What did you think?
Brock Lesnar looks strong as hell. Did you notice that? I don't know if like maybe it was just the shirt he was wearing or like maybe like, just like his choice of clothes made him look like he's stronger or something. But he
and I look a lot alike in the body.
Yeah, I mean, dude appeared freakishly strong. Squashed the hell out of the thing. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Thought it was very, very cool. I'm happy Brock's back. I'm a big Brock guy. I always like a big giant. Always like a freak like that. I'm interested to see how Brock Lesnar's going to get into the Paul Heyman.
You want that relationship to come back. I don't think he can do it.
Well, I don't think I want it to come back. I'm just interested that because every time Roman is around Paul Heyman, because like Paul's got such his little story just leaks into kind of everyone's thing. And so with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and now Brock's back, there's just so many ways that Paul Heyman needs to be watching his back. So I'm just excited that Braun's here.
So this is the WWE, you guys. Raw gave us Vision Dominance, that's Seth Rollins' faction. My man Dominic Mysterio looking great as the Intercontinental Champ. Rusev trying to reinvent himself, trying to find himself as an artist, a man, a wrestler, and a fighter. We got AJ Lee's shocking return. We got probably an intergender mixed tag match coming up. What else do we got? And we got Cena versus Lesnar, and I don't know where they're going to wrestle. Could be WrestlePalooza. Weird name for a pay-per-view, but whatever. So now it's time to jump in to AEW Dynamite. And I want to start off by saying I think it was too soon to criticize lack of stories on AEW on my part because I'm comparing it to WWE stories, which have had multiple decades and generational history to draw from, to have these sort of these factions and these rivalries and all this stuff. Whereas AEW is just 6 years old. And they're just now starting to pay off some of these long-time interactions that they had 2-3 years ago, sometimes even a little bit more, where people are bringing up their history and bringing up the reason why they still don't trust Wrestler X or why they're going after Wrestler X. And they've been doing a good job lately, not just of the story in the ring, but the story outside the ring as well. So shout out to them for that. I may have been, I might not have been, you know what I mean? Maybe there was a way for them to tell more stories. I don't know yet, but this was just kind of popping in my head this morning. That's what I was thinking, Jeff.
We need more stories over there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it any other way. It's underwhelming to say the least. So yeah, I hope you're right.
What about, okay, you like this wrestler and you like gimmicks. So what about the Darby Allin story mixed in there with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders? He had beef with Moxley when Moxley completely disrespected and disregarded him as like a real wrestler. He was just this tiny little guy who couldn't do anything. And now Darby Allin is literally up, not now, but recently was like on Mount Everest, climbing Mount Everest, like, yo, Jon Moxley, I don't forget that bullshit that you said. And he's back. And since he's been back, he's been on a rampage, and he's chloroforming the Death Riders, putting them in body bags. He put Gabe Kidd in a body bag that was connected to a pickup truck, jumped in the pickup truck, and took off. And even at the end, he started to slide a little to the right. I was like, if he cases into that pillar, that's the end of Gabe Kidd, legit. But everything was okay. But I got a little scared. I'm a dad. But he has a bit of a story now, and it's not about a championship. It's just a reason why we have to fight. So what do you think if I pitch you that?
I like that idea actually a lot, and I think that does, whenever you can get somebody to care about a story that's not a belt or a strap or a championship or whatever we're calling it, then that's great for everyone. That works out good for everyone. So I do like that. Wouldn't it be great if we found out Vince was just working at AEW? I mean, doesn't this whole thing seem like something Vince would come up with?
The body bag?
Yeah, or something like that, And then he drives off, and then he comes back, and he's in a body bag. It just it feels very Vince-ish.
It's very old school, but I kind of liked it. I think it's gimmick. You love the gimmick, man. Yeah, you love all that. The Mercedes Moné match was fantastic. Happened very quick. Wasn't much of a reason other than Alex Windsor's ambition, right? Like, that's her story. My ambition to be champion. And Mercedes Moné's story is basically like, I have to fight this girl. She's a top contender. They're making me fight her. So not a ton of story, but this match was so good, so freaking good. I wasn't really familiar with Alex Windsor at all. I'd just seen her do like a tag match in AEW, and that's pretty much it. She was so good, and Mercedes Moné is top shelf all day long. At the end of the match, she kind of does a little bit of extra business on Alex Windsor, and she's kind of trying to make her tap out again, even though the match is over. And then they cued Riho's music, and it was the return of Riho. This was another thing. I don't know if I would have cued her music, because that lets Mercedes Moné know that she's coming, and then she has to sit there and hold the hold, right? And then just take that jump off the top without really defending herself. Whereas if you just let the crowd react, that sort of protects Mercedes and she doesn't get left out there. That was just my thing. But I still loved the match. It didn't ruin it for me. And Riho's back, who everybody likes. And now we can get a match between the two of them. And they're both little, but Mercedes is pretty strong, so I think they can have a good match as well. But this was a match that I just wanted to mention because we're tough on wrestling sometimes. Sometimes we're nice on wrestling. But this was a women's match that needs to be watched. And I'll leave it at that. The Hurt Syndicate's awesome. Everybody loves the Hurt Syndicate. MVP's going to wrestle. He's coming out of retirement again to bust some heads, to bust Ricochet and the Gates of Agony's heads because they cost them the World Championships. Really good backstage segment. He was really good on the mic this week. That was fun to watch. Also, Hook and the Ops. This was an interesting little backstage segment because Hook comes in hot dealing with Hobbs and Samoa Joe, who are getting interviewed. And he's like, hey, man, I don't need your help. I don't want your help. I didn't ask for your help. And Samoa Joe is like the tough guy veteran who's not going to take any shit and tell you how it is, but he's still cool. He's cool with Hook. So there's no threat of violence, right? He's just letting him know, like, hey, man, we have your back whether you like it or not. And he's like, well, what the hell, man? You just replaced me when I got hurt? And Samoa Joe just lets him have it. And he's like, yeah, that was my call. End of story. That was my call. It's a tough fucking business, kid. Deal with it. We're the Ops. We take advantage of opportunities. You got a problem with it? Then you have a problem with me, and you can have that problem. But I still have your back, kid. That's not what he said. He did it way better than me. But that was the gist of it. I like this backstage segment, too. It gave Hook an opportunity. It gives Hook a reason why. Hook's back from injury. I should have mentioned that at the top of the segment. But yeah, and I like Hook, man. I like seeing the small guy have to fight big, right? And have to take on these big guys. And his dad taught him all these suplexes that you can use leverage and you don't need size. Because I was small, you can be small. Like, I like his sort of backstory there. And I want good things to happen to him. And I thought this was a good positive segment that helps push him forward a little bit.
He's also getting bigger.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's getting older, man. He's getting older. We all could get
There was
an
a photo of him at
opportunity
MJF's wedding, and he looked like I started Googling images of him because I was like, what happened to Hook? Did Hook get Taz sized? Like, I couldn't believe how big he looked. But it's just because Hook is so strong that when you put a strong guy in a suit, sometimes it is a little deceptive of your body size. But Hook is getting bigger.
You guys, we appreciate you listening. This wraps up this week's episode of Wrestling with Freddie. We're about halfway through the season. You got about like 25, maybe 27, 28 more of these this year before we take a little break. But we come to you almost every single week. Stay tuned for Unsanctioned Thursdays. We're going to go over this was just a dumb text chain that we went over, but you guys can do this and then listen to the show. We tried to come up with NXT names because some of their names are so ridiculous. What would be our names if we debuted? So we'll joke about that, come up with some of your names as well, and then we'll just talk about whatever on Unsanctioned Thursday. You can also leave us a review and let us know if there's a topic in wrestling you'd like for us to cover, or just say something funny. If it's funny enough, it makes the cut. If it's not, it doesn't. On behalf of Jeff, I'm Freddie. Peace.
We out.